Flexibility. This executive function has nothing to do with touching your toes. It's about being flexible and your behavior when you respond to different contexts or stimuli in your environment. Flexibility involves cognitive and mental flexibility and helps us when we have to shift between situations or change tasks, and just our ability to adapt quickly and respond to change. We may all know someone, or maybe it's ourselves, who are people who struggle when all the plans get disrupted or a situation arises. There's this surge in stress or frustration in that things were supposed to be a certain way and maybe they're not. This can be also harder for neurodivergent people. I myself, with autistic kids, if things change around, sometimes they struggle to quickly transition and be flexible in that moment. So it can be to do with managing unpredictable routines and meet changing demands, whether it's work, school, maybe social life, family, anything in life where things shift and we need to have some flexibility to the situation. What can be also hard here is that we can expect teens and young adults to actually take some situations in their stride when they're actually kind of delayed or behind in their development of their executive functions. This is a learned thing to deal with. We learn how to respond, what's appropriate, and how to handle situations. So some people, like young adults and kids, actually may need additional support on some occasions where there's a sudden change in flexibility required. So this is an important space, and it can become more well developed as an executive function to help you move through life and respond to situations when you need to maybe pivot, quickly recover, and move on when something unexpected happens. So I'm sure it's no surprise as to what can be challenges in this area. So people can get frustrated when little things happen. Something comes up and it's really an annoyance. Some people actually repeat the same mistake, or they have difficulty adapting to a change, maybe in a schedule, in a plan. It may not just be a plan is disrupted, it may be when you have to switch and shift between things, leaving something, starting something, and having that flexibility in those moments. Some people get stuck and they argue and they persist in a point that they're arguing over and over. They're not being flexible to the conversation and the flow and what's going on. And in, I guess, more extreme circumstances, or when there's higher emotion, there can be meltdowns and struggles when situations change and people are having to completely be disrupted, so they need to try and have flexibility in the moment to move through it. You may think about someone you know or yourself that you may think, yeah, when things change, I get really annoyed and I really struggle. And that's where you can think about trying to bring in some flexibility and shift your response. Or be aware if you know someone that when you shift things around, it really impacts them because maybe they're not as good at being flexible to shifts. So it's something worth considering as you move through your work and personal life.